Hello friends, let us talk about the statistical graph. So what is a statistical graph is? The statistical graph is a data which is represented in a graphical format. So a well-designed statistical graphic, also referred as a chart or a graph, consists of your complex ideas which is communicated to have a clarity with precision and efficiency. This when you read out or when you think about this, what do you understand that exactly in the end, after developing my interactive system, I would get the statistics about how many users have liked, how many users have disliked, and I'll design a statistical in such a way, either in a chart or in a graph way, to consist to think about my complex idea which is communicated with the help of clarity and precision. So it gives me a viewer the greatest number of ideas with the shortest span and in the smallest space. So it will also induce the viewer, to think of the materials but not the strategy. And it will provide a coherence to the large amounts of information by tidying up together. So what is the objective and use of this? Obvious that the graph it present should be recognizable. The graph type should help user to understand the data. The data should be formatted and presented correctly. Then the data which is formatted, it should be presented to the audience. That audience should understand what are the statistical rate, what are about our interactive system. The graph should avoid distortion about telling the truth, because normally we hide the truth that so much of the users have liked and less user have liked and more users have disliked. We just want to keep it to ourselves, so we just say like, okay, our statistics is better, but we should not do this. So use of statistical graph is a simple comparison of data over the period of time, like 1 year before, like in 2013 the data was such a statistical growth of interactive system was demand like 90%. It was decreased over the years, it decreased like 80%, 70%. Now why are we lacking, what are we lacking behind, and why it is failing? So we need to understand the failing of it, what are the drawbacks, so that we couldn't compete with the other interactive systems. So graphical thing will help you to make it more innovative. Then reserve for the material which is rich or complex or difficult. So there may be a bar charts for graphical thing to represent. We have a bar charts while changes over the time we that was used in a line graph, then it used the histogram, scatter plots, and so on. So components of statistical graph can be like the emphasis, like they have x-axis and y-axis, and the data representation on both the axes, like if it is falling or increasing and so on. So data representation is like emphasis the data, then that means you're presenting the data, you emphasize on the work of non-data, minimize the redundant data, fills the graph available area. The table show the data variation, in which year it causes to decrease, in which year it caused to increase, provide proper context for the data interpretations, because sometimes the context is so confusing that we don't understand whether it's an increase or decrease of demand of your product, or the liking the viewers, and so shows scaling and shading, so maximum data density we can say. So this is about your statistical graph, and it can help you in many ways. Like, to a person's attention should be drawn in a measured quantities, like non-data, the grid elements, or in a decorations. So like adorn, as we have studied as aesthetical utility, how much you have liked or the decorations and the worldly labels and draw attention and so on. Then you have redundant data. That means redundancy on occasion can be useful, but what information that depicts the same value over and over, you have not changed, you have not upgraded the system. Then the proper variation, proper context. If poorly context is used between those, we cannot help it to understand what actually we want to see, what we want to look at. If I've just explained you that this is x-axis and this is a y-axis, this is 32 likes and about interactive over the period of time, so how will you understand what we are talking of? That in the year of 2013, how many viewers we had and how many we keep losing or how many keeps of increasing. So maximum data density, it is better, more is better than less. So greater amounts of information should be displayed and a large number of visual comparisons should be made over the improving comprehension. So data density or a graphic can be maximized. So whenever you work on a statistical, make sure that representation should be in a proper way, that it should be understood, and even if increasing or in a decreasing manner, it should able to show it off. So next time we'll see what other elements help you to understand about your interactive system in the next session.